Let's see, we have 1,000 words per one image times 30 frames per second times 60 seconds in 1 minute times 5 minutes. That's a lot of words. Hello everybody, my name is Victor. I'm an MPS student with the Shark Research and Conservation Program at the University of Miami, and I am here to tell you about the communication of science. Now, there's a lot of really cool facts about science that we can learn from academic articles, from science news, from all sorts of places. But many times this information is not necessarily conveyed in the best way for the average folks. Let's say if you're an architect, maybe you're not too interested in reading about stable isotope studies. But that's alright. That's where science communication really comes into play. And nowadays, with the technology that we have in our hands with our cell phones, we can make a big difference. We can really create interesting, engaging material that can actually make a person that would not be that interested in certain topics suddenly think about them and maybe find a newfound interest on them. So what should you do if you want to convey science? Well, first you should get some imagery or footage of whatever you are interested in documenting. So that can be a plant, that could be an animal, it can be all sorts of things. Now, for that, you don't need no fancy camera. If you do have a fancy camera, by all means use it. But your cell phone is really all you need. Nowadays, the cameras on those cell phones are better than some actual professional cameras from 10 years ago. So don't underestimate your cell phone. If you live in Europe or the United States, you're not going to be able to get pictures of kangaroos or lions or giraffes, unless you maybe go to the zoo. But ideally you want pictures of the animal in its natural habitat. So for that you will rely on stock photos or stock footage. However, I would suggest that you instead focus on an animal that nobody has maybe heard about. And even better, choose an animal that you can find in your backyard, in your city, in your suburbs. Animals that people often overlook and just assume they're there, but maybe there is much more to it.
So first, you need to go outdoors and take a picture of whatever you want to document. It can be anything, a bird, a plant, an insect, or this little lizard that I found across my street. Next, you're going to have to identify the species. You can do this in many different ways. For instance, you can use Wikipedia. I actually would recommend iNaturalist. It's a fun app that actually can pinpoint your location and point out the species that are more likely to be seen in your area. After that, you want to find a fun fact that you want to share with the world about this species. For instance, I figured out that this lizard is a brown anole, an invasive species from the Caribbean that is actually threatening the local population of green anoles that are resident to Florida. Now that I have my imagery, my species identified, and my fun fact to share, we want to put it together into a small video. As I said at the beginning, if an image is worth 1,000 words, and a video is made of many images, then a video is worth many more words. You can easily put together a video by using software like iMovie. They're very intuitive software and it's very easy to learn how to use them through tutorials on YouTube. You can also record your voice directly through your phone or your computer as you edit. Once you have that video ready, you can start sharing it with your friends and family. Hopefully you can teach them something that they didn't know about a species that they see every day. And that can lead to broader topics. For instance, my little brown lizard can open the conversation about reptile conservation in Florida and the issue of invasive species. And subsequently, you can actually tie all that together and talk about what can be the steps taken by both individuals and the government to solve this issue.
Thank you so much for watching this first episode of Seized by Degrees, and I hope you all have fun conveying science the way I just showed you. See ya!